But one idea that I might put forward is to do it as a forgivable loan, so that if it's going to be a 2 to 3 year construction of this project, and we don't know what the economy will look like at that point, but, in other words, this would allow us to, still see if it's needed, then we forgive the loan or something like that. So anyway,
Do you mind if I speak a little bit about our agreements and how we structure them? So the agreements that we've got.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
The commissioners had some.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Commissioner Long had a question.
Well, yes, and while I understand Commissioner Seal's comments, I'm very curious, given the need in St. Petersburg, what this delay would mean for the advancement of the project, given that we all know that the longer it takes to bring something to fruition, the more the costs go up. So, yeah, I am a little surprised that we're doing due diligence after the fact. It would be nice if we had it all right now. But before we make a decision, I would like to know what kind of effect that might have on their ability to move forward. Time is of the essence, I do believe, when we're talking about projects of this magnitude. So I think we have to be sensitive to that, too.
sure.
Commissioner Eggers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm glad we're going to have a chance to take a look at it a little more. I also had a chance to have some discussion yesterday, and just to get a better understanding of the development itself and why it's not being allowed to utilize the maximum development of the property, and therefore it needs a little bit of extra, if you will, economic development subsidy to make the deal work. So I think if when we bring that back, hopefully in 2 weeks, so it's not a long delay, that we can have a little bit of that discussion, how the property itself could have more development on it, but it's not being allowed to. So the developer is having to augment some of those shortfalls with these funds. I think it's a good a mixed-use development, not only for office space, which is needed, but also for some retail and some housing opportunities. So I think it's a nice project, and a little bit more discussion would be great. So thank you.
Commissioner Flowers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In that, and you may respond to this today, depending on how the organization receives the funding from us, how will that or does that impact any additional private funding that they've received? Because typically those entities are looking for a ratio, if you will, of support and how much you're getting in dollars from various sources. So I want to make sure that we are not impeding their ability to garner private funds raised, whether it's through bank financing or however that is. And the other is, I'm not sure how the city of St. Pete continues to address density, but I know one of the issues regarding density, even taking full advantage of what's there, the community spoke out on a number of occasions about maximizing that density. If you've driven through St. Petersburg anytime recently, not just on weekends, but even through the week, it's difficult. Traffic is so backed up, and so there are a number of concerns, and I believe that may have something to do with on the city of St. Pete's side as it relates to the approval for density and the acquiescence of that density on that project. I think you'll probably answer the rest of the questions. My colleagues did bring forth some of the questions I have, but the main one is funding, because I want to make sure delaying this won't impede that and push the project further back and hinder their funding. I want them to get all the money they can get from somebody else.